So basically, we both had the cafes and we both admired each other's cafes. We kind of heard that each of us were interested in opening a roastery. Basically, just through the coffee scene and the grapevine, let's say, we got in touch and then we opened Fjord. It made more sense at the time to do something together rather than just start two competing roasteries.
The three owners of Fjord all have quite different skill sets. So it's a really, really nice fit together, and it means that a pretty sweet cocktail that we have with the three of us doing totally different jobs and just focusing 100% on those jobs. So that was very beneficial, especially in the beginning.
So I've been in Berlin for 6 and a bit years now. I had no intention to really work in coffee, but one thing led to another and I opened Silo, and yeah, we didn't know each other. Actually, we're talking just before that I used to go to the cafe that he worked at in Melbourne, but we had never met.
When we were 19 years old.
When we were 19 years old, and but we'd never met, so we did meet for the first time in Berlin.
I've been here for almost 5 years, and the reason that I came here was purely to open a coffee shop, this one. Melbourne is, for lack of a better word, saturated with coffee roasteries and coffee shops, and the level of competition there is incredible, and you also need a substantial amount of capital to open the type of cafe that I wanted to open. And Berlin's specialty coffee scene was growing at a rate that looked healthy and approachable. Coffee's kind of in its infancy with this refinement. So that is fascinating, the constant learning, the constant making mistakes, because we have that bracket in time where most baristas on the planet were quite pretentious. It's nice seeing the shift back towards service and hospitality now, because you can brew the tastiest coffee on the planet. If you're not nice to the person that's buying the coffee, it's not going to taste amazing. Rwanda coffee is delicious. Sometimes it's like juggling and gambling with the Rwanda having its infamous spuds, the potato defect that comes in Rwandan coffee. Kind of in recent times there have been washing stations that have been very meticulous in their processing. Rwandan coffee can be phenomenal sometimes. It tastes like Ethiopian coffee and Kenyan coffee came together and produced some miracle coffee love child, and it's amazing. I'm going to be brewing a Rwandan MACUBA V60 for you guys today, and letting you in on my personal recipe. I'm going to start with 28 grams of coffee, ground, I'll call it medium, a little bit coarser than how you would grind an AeroPress, and a little bit finer than how you would grind for a French press or for cupping. I like to basically get most of the water in there quite quickly. So I grind it a lot finer to try and elongate that brew because I'm pouring so quickly. Pre-wet your paper filter to try and get rid of all of the white, papery, bleachy flavors. After you put the 28 grams of coffee in there, we're going to aim for around a 3.5 minute total brew time. And we're going to try and get all of the water in there in 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So I'm going to start by, because I put 28 grams in, I'm going to start by putting double the amount of water on top of it and let it bloom for around 45 seconds, which is quite long. When I do the bloom, I try and pour all of the water into the center of the coffee because I don't really want any of the water to just touch the coffee and then end up in my vessel at the bottom. I want the water to sit with the coffee granules, be absorbed by them, basically so the coffee granules can absorb the water, expand, and let's say be activated. So we're at 45 seconds now, and you can see that the coffee granules themselves have gotten quite a substantial amount bigger because they have absorbed water and been activated. Basically, the things that have the lightest molecular weight are going to be extracted first. They're the sour components or the bright acidic components. And then after that, then the Maillards are going to get extracted, and then finally the sugars are going to get extracted. So it's very important with this coffee to grind that little bit finer and ensure that your total brew time is long enough to get the sugars out, because this coffee is phenomenally sweet so long as you get the sugars out. I'm going to pour up to 400 now, ensuring that I always have the water pouring in the middle of the brew, because I don't want to knock the coffee down the walls of the V60, because that will create channeling and over extraction. Sweet, and we're at 2 minutes 15 now, so I'm going to pour from 400 up to 500, finish my brew, a nice big stir. That is it. And with the numbers, we look for an extraction yield of around 23% and a TDS of around 1.5. When it's extracted well, you will get a lot of plum, black tea. It's got honey-like sweetness. It's incredibly balanced. It's not super bright. The quality of the acid is really good and the quality of the sugar is very good. We're also looking for just general deliciousness and sweetness and openness and vibrancy and yum.